was just sitting here talking to God yesterday. I've been talking to God about this for 2 days now. When I get to working on my art, I was talking about the flowers being renavigated and how they were doing it. But y'all, one, don't hurt nobody. Don't hurt each other like that. Don't do that to each other. I ain't gonna go into detail because it's some gangster stuff. I ain't even gonna go into detail about it. But I want to say though, I want to say this though. There's a lot of things we can do in this world, but you got another low when you scoop to a low like that. It's above, it's beyond money, it's hurt. When you do something like that, it's it's pulled from hurt, bro. You doing it because you hurt yourself. You did wrong to yourself. And I wasn't gonna talk about it because, man, that's beyond my pay grade for real, for real. But all it really was the South Node renavigated the North Node. Don't do that. The South Node, and the reason why I'm saying this is because don't do that. We supposed to learn from the North Node. I was out there in them streets. I talk for women now. I don't know nothing about what men do. Men do this. I don't know. I ain't hang with men. I wasn't dealing with men. I was dealing with women. So I seen women re-navigate their own friends, re-navigate good women to bad partners. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Because you're only doing it because you hurt. You're only doing it because you hurt. So stop doing it. Stop hurting each other like that, man. We putting a lot of in it. We got to put work in fixing that. Once y'all start doing that, you got to put work in keeping it going. You got to put money in keeping it going. You got to put work in cleaning it up. You got to put money in cleaning it up. It's just a load that we got to go to. It's like somebody tried to literally get rid of the North Node. What is North Node and South Node to me? North Node is a high vibrational frequency. The South Node. And it's like natural rights. Ain't nothing good and bad about it. It's just that you want this out of life or do you want this out of life? And let's just be honest. I had to be honest when I started quitting drugs and all that. Do I want to be on drugs? And when I had that conversation with God, that what God was asking me, do you want to be like this? You know, God hurt me. This is what God said to me. He said, son, no matter what you choose, I'm going to love you regardless. Do you want to be in a low vibration or do you want to be in a high vibration? If you want to be in a low vibration, I'm not going to let you be alone. I'm going to send you a lover regardless. And then he did it. I stayed in a low vibration too long. He started eventually sending me lovers. But by that time, I was ready to elevate out of the low vibration. I was thinking about what my father told me. So it's like, now I'm elevating to a higher vibration, which is still in the works. So, and I understand that because I did the same thing in the low vibration. It ain't no good or bad. And we got to admit, do you want to be on drugs? Do you want to have all these multiple partners? Be honest with yourself. Okay, now what comes with that? All right. What comes with that is your body breaking down. You're losing real friendship, real lovers, the possibility of even having income. You got to ask yourself, do you want to do this? I met so many brilliant people in that low vibrational field that was in a higher vibration and literally destroyed that higher vibration and wanted to live in the lower vibration. And it was comfortable. So it ain't no good or bad. They wanted that. That's what they wanted. But over time, you think that's what you want until your body start breaking down. You can't get the proper help that you need. Then you got to look at the fact that you got to drink. You got to do drugs. That's going to be your coping mechanism for this pain that you enduring all the time, because you probably ain't gonna have no insurance. No matter who you is, they're not gonna give you insurance because the doctor's gonna check you for drugs and all this. You just sacrifice your higher vibrational field to be on drugs and do all this low vibrational stuff. So now you go from medical drugs to recreational drugs. See? You see how that works? The energy is still there. You just gotta adjust. So you just gotta ask yourself what y'all want to do. But they was renavigating flowers. I was, like I said, I asked God about this book. What is this book about? And that's what this book about. It's about a royalty family or different families that was involved in renavigating energy just for their own selfish greed. It's way more detailed than that, but I'm not gonna get into that. And it's way more disturbing than the way I'm saying it. This is God's book now. And there's people involved in this that shouldn't have been involved in this. These people were supposed to be higher vibrational type of people. You know, angelic type of people. Some of y'all, but some of y'all was originally just high vibrational people in hell. Let's just say that. I'm gonna be real with you. I met people, I know people in my family. One is over the belly of hell, one is over the foot of hell, and one is over the arm of hell. Like real. They don't know who they is, but I know who you are. And some is in the angelic. And this ain't good or bad neither. Because it's like if they in the office, you know, now it is, because they did something that they crossed the boundary. Like when God marked his children, and Satan, he let Satan know, you know, don't touch these kids. That means everybody of lower vibration, demons and everything is supposed to obey Satan when Satan relayed that message. Y'all didn't do that. Y'all went on ahead and attacked them anyway. And this is the consequences behind it. See, I'm taking it out of the spiritual, keeping it in God though, bringing it to the physical. Now, you on the other side know what I'm talking about, because some of y'all been investigating this stuff, dealing with this stuff for years. And y'all know what I'm talking about. So y'all can explain it in the physical all the way around. But I want to keep it like this so people can see what they're doing to themselves and how bad they really ruining themselves. Like some of y'all don't even know it. Like let's just say this. I can't keep it on that, just that American one. This is ancient stuff. So let's just say this. Let's say you was high vibrational in hell itself. Very high vibrational. Probably even higher vibrational than Satan. Well, you just lost all your ranking and probably forfeited to Satan. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at this gene stuff now. And I'm seeing how, like, let's say fallen angels. And then you fall to hell and you something big in hell. Real big in hell. Well, rules and regulations still apply to us all on earth. You losing your ranking through genes. Ranking comes from everything in the physical, comes from the spiritual. So I already know y'all swapping this network up. Y'all probably can't see me. I wish y'all could see handsome Mo, man. But I know y'all can't see me probably. But anyway, but that's how it go though. That's how it go. Like I said, all I'm trying to say is, don't do that. Don't renavigate flowers. If you're a mushroom, you turned yourself into a mushroom. You wanted to be a mushroom. You turned yourself into a mushroom. So if you're a mushroom, you should be proud of seeing flowers. One thing you shouldn't do is renavigate a flower to being a mushroom. You should learn from the flower to see if you can go from being a mushroom to a flower. And you'll be amazed. Like for me, when I got out there in the street, and when I started doing this stuff to my life, I don't want to say hideous, but let's say sowing my royal oats, which was very low vibrational. Before I got out there in the street, well, and then I said I'm gonna change my life. I'm tired of this. And I was feeling bad about myself, looking bad. But that was while I was in the street. But before I got in the street, I look better now than I did when I was before I got in the street. Feel better, doing better, and still growing, and still evolving. So it's like, by me learning and turning all that around, not only do I feel better and look better, but I gained a lot of wisdom. And, hey, Tommy. I'm going to tell him to turn down, but I'm about done with it. I got a lot of wisdom. So, he making a lot of noise. Tommy, you turn that down a little bit. I'm on this video. But, I'm almost done, though. But, you can make the tea. I ain't talking about the tea. I'm talking about the whatever you were planning now. What was I saying? Yeah, renavigating the flowers. Everything is perverse now. So what I'm guessing is that happening is somebody put this format in the way. Nobody knows the right way no more because it's been going this way for so long. People been sneaking around doing it. And honestly, I just wrote it off as like this. I was like, well, you know, maybe when the doctors took the dope dealer game, took the drug dealer business away from them, they went secretly. Everybody thought everybody was in the house on the phone. Maybe they was on their phone, but they wasn't just on their phone. They was on their phone looking at these Hunger Games, you know? And that's a renavigation in energy that was bad. And they probably did it because they were like, it was a lot of people working in the street. The streets was our full-time job. And then all of a sudden, overnight, they just took our drugs. And this was the talk on the street. You know, you gotta imagine a dope dealer having an argument with a junkie. And it might have been a junkie that was a good customer, a great customer. And the junkie was like, you imagine dope dealer going up to him, hey man, you gonna get something? Nah, bro, I mean, I will, but I don't really want to. Well, what you want? Let me give you some. Let me get this. What? I don't even want to say that. You usually get this or that. But man, I got this other thing I got going on. What you got going on? I got this other stuff I got going on. I can buy this other stuff for $5 and feel good for 4 hours. What? Yeah, feel good for 4 hours. And I buy this from you, it's $20 and it's 15 minutes. So I got something else going on. So right there, the game flip-flop. The game went to the game drowned. Okay? Nobody talks about this, but I'm gonna talk about it. Because it's dead and gone now, so there's no point in not talking about it. The game drowned right then and there. The game was over. So I'm looking at the streets, I'm like, where everybody gonna go then? I know I'm gonna go because I was prepping for it. I was going into this real estate stuff, the dealership stuff, started investing my money, had my studio. I'm prepping for it, I'm ready for it. I got a little job. I'm ready for the replace this money with my new hobbies. I'm thinking everybody else doing it secretly too. And I just noticed everybody was gone. And I was like, darn, everybody must just dropped off now I get into this situation. Years later, I get into this situation, I find out about these farms and these barns. I said, oh my God, that's where everybody is. So, you know, you gotta imagine yourself, let's say we in hell. You know, I'm loving to use this hell thing for an example now. And just imagine everybody just sitting there looking like this. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're on your phone or not. You know, they put you in hell, you're going to be just sitting back looking at a theater. Whatever you were looking at, spending your time in, you're going to continue to do that when you die and go on the other side. And you're just going to be sitting there looking at the same thing. You're going to realize, you're going to be like, man, what's going on, man? When is it going to end? Some of y'all done looked at some of that stuff so much, you know. But let's say it's a movie. If it is a movie, it's a movie, it's a good movie then. I feel like it's an energetic trick movie. And I ain't gonna say no more. And I feel like your decision and the decision you make dealing with that movie is your way out of that movie. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. I'm talking about on a spiritual level. Now, I know y'all seeing it in a whole different way, but I'm telling you how I see it. Because people keep putting me in these situations where I'm trapped and locked down. And I always got to remodify the energy to where I can get myself out of these shit. Because somebody in my family that's way older than me, I like blaming my flame, but she ain't got nothing to do with this really. She just a fall guy. It's somebody older than me that been living in my shadow for my whole life. And they just constantly kept doing this over. I ain't never had no life. So I'm looking at this energy. I'm blaming God. Like I'm building this relationship with God. And I got a close relationship with God, okay? And at this time, I'm probably 24 years old. And I'm starting to realize. But I'm noticing my exes stalking me. But I can't even call them. They won't even pick up their phone. But I notice y'all stalking me. Man, I ain't getting that. That ain't making no sense. So I'm blaming God. I'm like, God, why ain't no women? Where the women at? Ain't no women around here. And it got to the point, thank God I was driving and stuff. I had to drive many miles away to go get me a woman. And boy, why did I bring them back here? So everything with the relationship be awesome till I bring them back here. It ain't like that now because that's what we cleaning up. By the time I get done with this play, women gonna be everywhere. And ain't nobody gonna be in my energy no more. Period. People right now treat me like crap at the store and everywhere. I don't even come out, y'all. But so when I do come out, they ain't supposed to even know me. But because of all this going on, they treat me like crap because they know they stealing from me and giving it to somebody else. You tell on yourself because you don't know me. I don't get out. I don't come out. You know, it shouldn't be a loser, you know. You create jobs. When you go to a place and they ain't creating jobs no more, you better know they're getting the money somewhere. So, anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm blaming God at this point. I'm blaming God. I'm like, God, you torturing me. I should be able to at least see women. I don't want to talk to men. And I'm going to prove it to you because I'm going to put myself in solitude. I'm tired of dealing with people. Because I'm always the leader. I'm always the one doing this, doing that. I'm always the one building. It's like somebody put me in a situation where they could just sit there and monitor me and take all my ideas and make it their own. So with that being said, I get into this, always was like an altercation with God. And at this point, I know God here, man. You read the Bible, and people go crying out to God, and God listen. He hear everything. And at this point, I done completely cut the world off, and it's just been me and God back to back. What is it? And so when I had that near-death experience, and he pretty much made me an autopilot, he said, I'm going to send somebody down there with you. They ain't going to be able to defeat this person, period, no matter what they do to it. And it's almost like whoever the energy was, the energy is driving this vessel at the moment, which will leave once this is over, I think. Once that energy is like the Akashic Records, and it's giving God all the information. So if you drug me, if you put things in my tobacco, you put things in my food, all that's being calculated and monitored. Sometimes I gotta take it in, just like the cigarette. I have to take it in, just so they can. I can feel it inside me, just so they can put the codes in and send it straight to God. Who made this tobacco? Who is Brad? Did Brad do this? Did Brad put this together? I'm just saying random names. Just ain't saying they did. Who put this here? Who put spell work on shoes? Who is shoes? Who is boots? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. And it's putting all this down. Who changed the wheat up? The wheat is good, it's supposed to be good, whatever. But like I said, it ain't that the products is bad. It's that the products that they swapped out for those products is bad. So, at this time, I'm arguing with God now. Just so finally last night, I said, "Look, man, I feel like I did a terrible job, and I failed you. Especially after having that uh 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 um that conversation with God the other day. I said, I feel like I failed you because I keep getting renavigated. I keep being sabotaged. People keep bothering me." And he finally told me, it's a flower. We looking at these flowers. So, okay, so what happened? So what he trying to say? He's trying to say, no, God don't put none of us here alone to be alone. So if you here and you alone, something's wrong with it, your energy, okay. So, and I guess the way they was able to play this off is by renavigating. See, I'm different. If you keep a person, if male or female, if you keep this person from being able to see, let's say it's a female, you keep this person from being able to see a man for so long, what they might do, what they typically might do, they're gonna be with another female. Same thing, vice versa. I wasn't hearing that. I want my woman. I want to see them, and I want them now. So they took the darn, and that's what we needed. Somebody in that solid. Cause see, when you bend, because that's what you're doing. You bend it instead of trying to figure out what's going on. You forfeit your justice. They call me a nerd, and you forfeit your justice. Okay. Well, what I'm trying to say, what is trying to say? I'm trying to say, like, let's say back in the day, like I said, they didn't have this technology stuff. They were able to just observe. And that's what I did when I was on the street corner with everybody. Everybody else chilling and kicking and talking about crimes they finna commit and they have committed. I'm just sitting back observing. And I'm looking across the street to the other, you got a group of people just hanging with a group of people. And I already know everybody that done committed certain crimes, and I'm just observing. And I already done seen some of these people some of these people have committed the crimes and thought they got away with the crime. So I'm really observing. And I'm watching them go away somehow, and they didn't get caught. But somehow they falling off. I'm observing. So that's what this person is that was riding this vessel. This Akasha Records. And what it is that literally, like, God, okay, let's say God send you a woman. Let's say you're a man, and God send you a woman. That woman don't make it to you, but God sent that woman to you. God looked for this woman, and this woman has been renavigated through other energies that's trying to be you, or portraying to be you. And that's the sin from hell itself. And let's just say this is natural, normal energy humans. And God was like, oh, okay. Well, send him another one. That's cool, send him another. Send you another one. That energy gone. It didn't make it to you. Okay, now something's wrong. It ain't sending no alarms. Okay, well, something. We gotta fix this. And what we gonna do? Well, they humans. Let's wait till they get one of my kids in that position. Let's put one of my kids in that position. Let's just let them deal with it for now. So God put a chosen one, or a high priest, a high priestess. He put somebody of that stature in that position. Okay, now you're doing it again. But the problem is you re-navigating angels. So now you got to deal with the karma from those angels because they want their justice automatically. And you got to deal with the karma from me. And I want my justice automatically. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it because you sat there and re-navigated angels this time. And not only did you re-navigate angels, but you re-navigated angels to absolute demons, probably. What I mean by that, they might have not have been a demon. You could have probably even been an angel. Now look at this. You lose your wings, boom. After you lose your wings, you go right there into, after you lose your wings, you go into witch and warlock mode, okay? Because you was once an angel. All right, then, boom, you drop down again, you just a human. And then now, you're in the darkness and doing all this stuff. Now you done went below human and went straight to demon mode. So if you've been re-navigating and doing games like this, you done went from an angel to demon mode. Okay, so you re-navigating lovers, your energy. So now God sent his son. Let's say God put his son right here. And for a fact, this energy is supposed to got to his son. But what you don't know is that the dark and the light talked about this. And I already knew this is chosen one. Chosen one, there's a dark and light chosen one, then some got both sides. It was going to have to be these babies born anyway. So that was already a conversation that was already on the wraps. It was already wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? They already knew this was going to happen. So you got to ask yourself, how would you get a chosen dark child? Probably do stuff like that. But now that that's up, because some of y'all they already done been had, I think, or being born. Well, okay, time for it to be cleaned up now. Because now the light got to get their child. Okay, because these energies that was coming was elevated enough. So I'm already elevated enough. So let's say we got to go, they go to light, baby. Okay, see now some of those energies, even if, let's say I had to go back to get one from those energy, they got to elevate out of that energy, cleanse and heal out of that energy before they can even come back around to my energy. See how that works? So somebody, so what am I saying? Like, I'm obviously saying that for all the warrior angels out there, our job and main focal point wasn't to have a human experience to that degree anyway. It was to do this mission. If you are a warrior angel, you here to do a job, not really to have no experience. You already know about the experiences. You're here to do a job, and this was our job. See what I'm saying? So I'm asking God, what was up with the Zoo Book? Why was Zoo Book? One, it could be called a Zoo Book in a form because they pretty much turned high vibrational people into animals, basically. And somebody been re-navigating. So, all right, now watch this. Now, let's go to the format, the blueprint of this that was back in slavery. That was probably set up just for my people. But this affected everybody. So this is not what that is. This is, let's just say it was birthed from that, though. Well, the goal was to contaminate all the South Nodes. See, the South Nodes ain't got to be contaminated. You could just be low vibration. Because you chose to be. That don't mean you bad. It just means you just comfortable where you are. You ain't got to do stuff to contaminate you. You don't have to do stuff to make you sick and ill. That ain't what South Node is. Okay, so somebody purposely contaminated the South Nodes and then put this evil in their minds to hurting everybody else. And I'm going to tell you, I know, because what a lot of females used to tell me when I used to check them about it, secretly, they'll say, well, they did it to me, I'm going to do it to everybody else. You can't have that attitude. You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. Because that person never loved you, and a lot of y'all left somebody that loved you and went to that person because you thought they loved you. They didn't love you, and they drug you. You didn't do it. You did it to yourself. So now, you gonna sit out there and you gonna go out there and they gonna put this bug in your ear. All right, and they gonna tell you South Node people, lure these North Nodes. See, this is new clean energy. Lure these North Nodes this way. They can still go to him, but make them come this way. And they gonna sleep with all these nasty people that's contaminated. Not saying the South Node is contaminated, I'm saying it's a trap right there somewhere. Because they got their own way they could come. They shouldn't have to go through nobody to get here. They should be able to come right here. That's the trap. Somebody owe a lot of people a lot of money for this, whatever this is. Somebody owe a lot of people a lot of money for whatever this is. And I want to say this off the record. I'm saying that like, I'm here with a lot. I just heard something from the Astro about Oprah. They say her little techniques, whatever she be doing that people don't like, is a way to find the light. With that being said, and if that's true, then I apologize for everything I said. I think that's pretty genius. You know what I'm saying? That's why people don't like you. Probably a lot of people don't like you, but they do like you. But I'm just saying. That's genius. Because in order to find the light, that means she got a gift for finding the light in a dark place. That's pretty damn genius. That's pretty damn genius. So I give you that. And I ain't never had a problem with you anyway. So, that's that. But I think that's incredible. If that's what you really got going on, and I see why it seems so harsh, I think that's absolutely genius. But anyway, peace and love out there. 3011, boy.